Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, Election Day. This is the regular meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Here.
Richard Valley,
Here.
Doug Verboon,
Here.
Rusty Robinson, Richard Fagundes.
Here. Okay, all 5 members are present. We'll move on now to invocation. Today we have Miss Sylvia Gaston, Konya Church. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You'd all stand. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before I pray, the Lord, when I was seeking the Lord this morning, he asked me to pray for healing for either one or more people in this room. And I would rather look like a fool than to miss something he's told me to do. So I'm going to pray for that first and then pray for our county. Heavenly Father, I just thank you, Lord, that you are a God of the impossible. You are a God of miracles. And Father, you have shown me that is at least one or more people in this room that needs your healing hand. So Father, I pray that they would be healed in the name of Jesus and they would know that it is because you love them in Jesus' name. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to have a voice in the way this government runs. We praise you for the vote that we have. And during this time of debate and decision making, please have your sovereign hand over this country and over Kings County. Please keep our country and our county healthy during this season. Give us the peace that passes understanding about the vote as well as the outcome. Your word says that you change the times and the seasons, so you are in control of this phase in our nation's history. We ask for the season to not be volatile and that our nation would see you in the midst of it. In Jesus' name we pray. And everyone said, Amen.
Amen. Over there. Your last month or day or week in Sheriff's Office, would you please lead us in a flag salute?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Move on now to County Service Awards. Carolyn Least. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Carolyn Lease, Human Resources Director, here to present the County Service Awards. Today, we gather to recognize the exceptional contributions of employees from the Human Services Agency. Public service is more than a job. It's a calling that reflects a profound commitment to improving the lives of our community members. Every day, dedicated individuals bring their skills, time, and passion to ensure the well-being of and progress of Kings County. To honor this commitment, we have the Kings County Service Awards program established in 1977, which celebrates the invaluable contributions of our employees. This program acknowledges full-time service, presenting awards after 5 years of continuous employment and then in 5-year increments thereafter. It's a chance to publicly recognize not just the length, but quality of service our workforce provides, reinforcing the significance of their efforts. Each recipient will receive a certificate highlighting their years of dedicated service, along with the option to select an award, either cash or commemorative memento. Notifications for those selections have been sent to eligible employees. As we proceed, I will present the awardees by this department. When your name is called, please come forward to receive your certificate and have your photo taken. And if you could remain in the well, we do have a big group this time, so we'll probably have everybody kind of remain at the well on this side and then call each of the years of service. So we are going to start with 5-year recipients. For the Human Services 5-year recipients, we have Jessica Alvarez. Brenda Bach. Lorena Campos. Maria Castaneda. Alma Cruz. J. Artemio Cruz. Maylen Diaz. Crystal Escalante. Arlene Espinoza. Audrey Jenis. Elizabeth Lara. Elena Lopez Ramirez.
Hey!
least they let you out. Apparently, they kept the other 5 years. Good job.
Remigia Lopez Llanes. Francisco Macias.
Hey. Only 40 more to go. Yeah, exactly.
The next 5 years is Kayla McGrew. Kenia Moreno Escalante. Nancy Ramirez. Tiffany Rife. Haley Rustad. Mariana Valdivia Hernandez. And Gabriela Velasquez. Okay. For our 10-year recipients, Vanessa Alvarado Estrada. Josefina Bruchetta.
Hey, good job.
Our next 10-year recipient is Doris Chavez. Sylvia Chavez. Daniela Fuentes. Elisa Gallo. Amber Gonzalez.
Hey.
Next 10 years is Lupe Gonzalez.
Hey.
Next 10-year recipient is Adrian Murga Flores. Maribel Ochoa. Mari Ponce. Alicia Rizzo. Lorena Soto. Monica Tavares. And last but certainly not least on our 10 years is Maria Watt. Next, we have our 15-year recipients, Yvonne Castillo.
Good job. Yeah.
Our next 15-year recipient is Deborah Darrow. Elizabeth Gazarek.
Hey. Every day.
Next, we have Megan Crumples.
Hey.
Next, we have Liseth Montoya.
Hey. You could tell. You could tell.
Oh, the fan club's in the back. I understand.
Our next 15-year is Serena Nakar.
Hey, hey. No fan club. Darn.
Next,
There, good job.
next we have Jesus Tello.
Hey.
And last but not least on the 15-year recipients is Eli Wiseman.
Hey. And man,
Before we get into the next 20 years, we do want to bring up Wendy Otikafo, Director of Human Services.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I wanted to just take a minute to thank you for taking the time to recognize our dedicated employees. So far, we've recognized 45 Human Service Agency staff with a combined total of 380 years of experience. These 45 staff represent all of our program areas, which are serving in this county 29,000 residents in Medi-Cal benefits, 15,000 for CalFresh, 2,400 residents with CalWorks, 3,500 through our in-home supportive service program, and 260 youth that are in out-of-home care. Our agency motto is Together We Serve, and today's a great opportunity to highlight their collaboration, their partnership, and I want to thank all of them for their service and their dedication to supporting, advocating, and serving the most vulnerable members of our community together. But we're not done. The next 7 staff we will be recognizing have dedicated their lives to the citizens of Kings County for 20, 25, and 30 years respectively. These 7 staff have a combined 175 years of knowledge and expertise in their respective programs. They are mentors and role models within our agency, and their collective impact is significant. As a result, I called in reinforcements to help me highlight their contributions and join in their appreciation. Their respective deputy directors have prepared a few words of appreciation to honor their service. I'll hand it off to Monica Connor with our 20-year recipients.
Hey.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me, I bring my water with me today. The first employee that we want to recognize for his 20 years of service is Christopher Watkins.
Hey.
And let me tell you a little bit about Christopher as he's walking up. Chris Watkins, his 2-decade journey with Kings County reflects his incredible dedication and versatility within child welfare. His experience spans many facets of the field, from starting as an ER investigator to working in permanency planning, AB 12, ILP, and court case management, and now excelling as one of the agency's hotline screeners. Chris's calm and patient demeanor allows him to build trust and make genuine connections with both youth and adults alike. This thoughtful nature has made him a reassuring presence, especially in roles that require sensitivity and empathy. In his current position as a screener, Chris's compassion shines through as he interacts with community callers and mandated reporters, helping them feel understood and guiding them through the reporting process. His commitment to educating and supporting mandated reporters reflects his dedication to child welfare and his willingness to go above and beyond to ensure clarity and thoroughness. Beyond his professional life, Chris brings warmth and personality to the team. Known for his love of the San Francisco 49ers, he's always up for a conversation about football. His signature snack of carrots and cucumbers and occasional treats of an asada torta has become a fun part of office culture. And his friendly nature is so well known that he's a familiar face at Starbucks, where the baristas even have his order memorized. Kings County is fortunate to have someone as dedicated, approachable, and experienced as Chris, whose presence strengthens the agency and positively impacts all who work with him. Our second 20-year recipient is Blanca Anguano. Let me tell you a little bit about Blanca. She is amazing. Blanca's commitment and strong interpersonal skills make her an invaluable member of the Social Service Assistant Unit. Her genuine ability to connect with people, even in challenging situations, sets her apart. With warmth and understanding, she helps clients feel at ease and ensures they feel supported. Blanca consistently takes on some of the agency's most complex cases with a positive attitude, always going the extra mile to provide families with all available community resources. Her dedication to her work is evident in her long hours and relentless commitment to ensuring every task is completed with care and efficiency. She balances multiple assignments seamlessly, often moving between departments to meet demands and support her colleagues. Blanca's willingness to share her knowledge and her collaborative spirit have not only enhanced her work, but also enriched the experience for the families and teams she interacts with. Beyond her role, Blanca's love for her birds and her unique collection of turtle items reflect her kind and vibrant personality. She brings both professionalism and warmth to her work, leaving a lasting positive impact on those around her. Blanca's presence is a true asset to the agency, and her dedication to families and the community is deeply appreciated. The third 20-year recipient, 25? Oh dear, okay. We all started together, so, is Lorena Garcia. Lorena's dedication and years of experience truly shine through her work. She is more than an employee. She's a mentor, a supporter, and an advocate who builds confidence in families and colleagues alike. Her commitment to child welfare and her relentless advocacy for families speaks volumes about her integrity and honesty. Lorena has not only been a role model within the agency, but also a trusted figure in the community. Her success stories, the families she supported in achieving stability and independence, are a testament to her impact over her 25 years. She brings more than expertise. She brings compassion and a steady, non-judgmental approach to every case. Her passion for the well-being of families and youth has inspired those around her, and her ability to balance her role as a guide and a friend is invaluable. Lorena's work ethic and dedication have not only paved the way for others, but also set a legacy of integrity that will be remembered long after her time here. Beyond her work, her love for gardening and reading reflect the grounded, thoughtful person she is. Her presence will continue to resonate as she someday will leave behind not just a legacy, but a lasting positive influence on the agency and the families she has served.
So for our next 25-year recipient, can we have Chris come on up?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Naras, Deputy Director for the Adult Services Division in the Human Services Agency. I'm going to read a little bit about Mr. Jose Herrera, who I don't believe happened to join us today. He is 25 years experienced in his job as an ETW, and Jose is a reserved and private individual, yet he occasionally shares delightful anecdotes and showcases his sharp wit. He once shared with a supervisor that his favorite food was boxer beans. When asked, what kind of beans are those? He replied, de la olla, which is Spanish, meaning also from the pot, or referencing Oscar de la Hoya. Jose is not someone who likes to be the center of attention, but is someone who is really liked and appreciated by his peers in Corcoran. Over his impressive 25-year career, he has empowered hundreds of individuals to achieve their self-sufficiency goals and continues to inspire parents throughout Kings County. Thank you, Jose, for your tremendous hard work and dedication to this community.
For the next 25-year recipient, Antoinette, can you comment up for this one? Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Antoinette Gonzalez, Deputy Director for Human Services Agency Benefits Area. I am honored to be here this morning to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of Brandon Moreno. Brandon began his career with Kings County as an eligibility worker in January of 1999. During his career with the Human Services Agency, he moved up the ranks from eligibility worker to lead in January of 2002 to eligibility supervisor in June of 2006, and then to program specialist in October of 2008, where he has worked with the department on a variety of programs and projects. Brandon's history with the department has made him invaluable in our CalWorks, CalFresh support service housing programs, general assistance programs, and that's just to name a few. I have had the pleasure of having Brandon as a direct report during his career, and there is one thing that you can be sure about Brandon, is that he is a man with a plan. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and so on. He likes to be well prepared, which is a wonderful thing to have on your team. When staff were asked to share something about him, they shared how he is always willing to help, provide mentorship, share his wealth of knowledge, especially the history, how he makes those around him feel welcomed, appreciated, and accepted. He was a founder of our department's booster committee, as he believes in the importance of employee morale and teamwork, and continues to assist as time permits. He has a way of lifting our spirits with his great sense of humor, but be aware of his puns or play on words. And most importantly, he is a Dodger fan through and through. Since I've known Brandon, he shared his unwavering appreciation of the Beatles and love for music in general. He does play the bass guitar and the piano, and has been known to write a farewell song or so for tailored to the staff that are departing from the department. On a personal note, Brandon has always been someone whom I could go to and bounce things off of and receive honest and an unselfish opinion from. I want to thank you, Brandon, for 25 plus years of service and being a wonderful person and human that you are to our staff and to the community. Go Dodgers. And now I believe we move into our 30. And I'm going to address Maria Tina Ayala. I don't know if she's here this morning, but I do have something to read on her behalf. Today, we are honored to celebrate the incredible career and commitment of Tina Ayala, who has reached the remarkable milestone of 30 years with the county. Tina joined the Human Services Agency on October the 10th of 1993, beginning as an eligibility worker 1 and steadily advancing to eligibility worker 2, lead worker, and ultimately to her current role as supervisor. Through her exceptional work and dedication, Tina has made a profound impact on our agency, her colleagues, and the community we serve. Tina's expertise and deep knowledge in eligibility work have made her a valuable resource, not only within our agency, but across the state. Over her career, she has trained countless eligibility workers, empowering them with the skills and knowledge needed to provide the best possible service to our residents. Her leadership and mentorship extend beyond our agency, as she has also shared her expertise with other counties, helping them to enhance their own programs. In her current role, Tina oversees the Overpayment Collections Unit, a responsibility that requires precision, diligence, and a strong understanding of complex policies and procedures. Her commitment to fairness and accuracy in managing overpayments has earned her the respect and admiration of her team and colleagues alike. Tina actively serves on various committees, contributing her voice and insights to shape policies and initiatives that directly benefit our community. Her involvement and willingness to go above and beyond exemplify her dedication to the public and her commitment to the agency's mission. It is truly a privilege to honor Tina today for 30 years service. Her dedication, expertise, and positive influence continue to make a difference in our agency and in the lives of the individuals and families we serve. Thank you.
For our next 30-year recipient, I'm going to ask Chris to come back up.
Good morning again, Chris Nara's Deputy Director over the Adults Division. I have the humble pleasure of also celebrating today Miss Leah Murdoch, who has dedicated 30 years. Predominantly for the last 30.
Ah,
For the last 30 years, predominantly, most of the time has been spent supporting this elderly and disabled clients. Her caring and her compassionate nature is evident in the exceptional customer service she consistently provides. When caseloads were more manageable, Leah made it a point to track her recipients' birthdays, ensuring she would call each one of them and wishing them a happy birthday. Additionally, upon learning of a recipient's passing, she would call the families and extend condolences, demonstrating her genuine concern for those she serves. Outside of work, Leah takes great pride in her family and enjoys spending her days off traveling with them, having explored many states and countries. Recently, we chatted, Leah and I, about her trip to Hawaii, where she had a great time with her family and able to kind of escape and just enjoy her her son, who is off in college and she's very, very proud of. I would like to thank Leah for her tremendous hard work over the last 30 years to making sure that this community of Kings County is safe, supported, and self-sufficient. Thank you so much, Leah.
This concludes the presentation for Human Services. So if we could get a group picture and if we can get all of the deputy directors and any of your staff that you'd like in the picture to come on up.
Took a picture of the staff that they took there. One of them had their certificate up.
We practiced ahead of time.
that they practice that? Exactly. They cheese. They candy canes.
Thank you for joining us in celebrating the dedication and incredible service of Human Services Agency. Thank you.
Hey.
That's it.
When you clean the house. Yeah. They gotta go back to work now.
I was here at the time, but I knew you was doing a lot. There's a lot going on.
Okay, we're back. So we'll go on now to unscheduled appearances. Any person may direct the board at this time on any item on the agenda or any items of interest to the public that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. And 2 minutes will be allowed. Do we have anybody online?
I apologize. The first speaker is Dominic Tyberski.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
It's a friendly conversation. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dominic Tyberski, Public Works Director. I'm here before you to introduce Rafael Orozco. He is our new Kings County Public Works Road Superintendent. Rafael's been with the county since April of 2012. He rose to the level of supervisor within the roads division, which is one step below the position he is in now. He then transitioned to the engineering division to perform as construction inspector. He's done an amazing job in that capacity, and I expect great things from him in this new role. I have warned a couple of you, but I'm going to warn the rest of you. You're going to love this guy. So just putting you on notice. Without further ado, Rafael.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone.
Welcome, Raphael.
My name is Rafael Roscoe. I've been with the county for almost 13 years. I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to work with every one of you guys. And thanks for your time.
You bet. No, thank you. Welcome. And good luck in your new venture, and try to make us all look good. Especially Dominic. He needs a lot of help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott's coming up.
All right.
You got to wait for the green light.
And I'm waiting for the boss too, because if I get out of line, I hear about it.
Yeah.
So, at this time, we have Scott Howell. Morning, Scott.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Scott Howell, Veteran Services. Just wanted to bring to your attention or remind you and bring to the public's attention quite a list of events that are going on, pre-Veterans Day events, and then events that are actually taking place on Veterans Day. So the first event that's going to be taking place, Lemoore College, combined with Veterans Upward Bound, is having a Vets Dinner at the Tachi Palace on Thursday, the 7th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Contact information for that is 559-925-3216, and that is a required registration. Corcoran is Pat Nolan putting on a Veterans Dinner, I think, in combination with Supervisor Valley and a couple of other folks. It's going to be at the Corcoran High School Tech Center at 1978 Whitley Avenue on Saturday, the 9th, from 5 to 8 p.m. Sons of the American Legion and Lemoore Police Department are putting on a Veterans Run Saturday morning on the 9th. That starts off at Lemoore and Follett Street. I don't have contact information. There wasn't actually contact information on the flyer for that. And that kicks off at 11 a.m. So I imagine if you get there a little bit early, you'll be able to register if you're interested in that. Pardon me. And then on that same Saturday, starting at noon and going from 4 p.m. is the downtown Lemoore Car Show and more. So they're going to have vendors down there. They're going to have some other displays down there and some other organizations. That goes from noon until 4 p.m. and that's on Saturday as well. And then on Veterans Day, starting off with American Legion Post 3, they're having a Veterans Day ceremony at the Hanford Cemetery, as they do every year, right in front of the tank down there. The tank has just been freshly painted by American Legion Post 3 and re-stenciled. They just got that finished yesterday. And so it looks really nice. It's going to look good for the ceremony. That starts off at 10 a.m. Then VFW and Nisei Liberty Post 5869 is holding their annual Veterans Day Festival in the Hanford Civic Park from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Hanford Elks Club is hosting a Veterans Day dinner at 5:30 p.m. on Veterans Day. The RSVP for that is by the 6th, and that's free for veterans. And then I believe it's $20 for anybody accompanying. American Legion Post 100 in the city of Lemoore putting on a Veterans Day parade in Lemoore at 6 p.m. on Veterans Day. And then Central Valley Veterans Day Parade, which is pretty famous and I think is the biggest one this side of the Mississippi. And as far as not attendees, but participants might be the largest in the United States. Opening ceremony for that is 9:45 a.m. at Fresno City Hall, and then the parade kicks off at 11 a.m. And that's all I have. Supervisor Valley, I know that there was perhaps something that was going to go on in Corcoran, and I didn't have any.
It's going to be very general. It's going to be the first year starting a new tradition of Veterans Day recognition or a gathering around the 5 pillars of freedom. And I want to get that going and start a new tradition of something to do on Veterans Day in Corcoran. So this year is going to be very general. We're looking for reps from each branch of service for people to, they can message me on my social media to say, hey, look, I've got my father and my mother. She served in the Army or the Navy. And we're going to have the reps walk down either roses or a wreath to each of the statue, and then probably have some coffee and donuts and spend about an hour around the memorial. That'd be it for this year. It's
Okay,
nice
very
and
nice.
simple. Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a
whatever
ceremony.
information-
I wouldn't even call it a ceremony this year. It's going to be very brief. Yeah.
Okay. If you've got any information on that, you want me to send that out? Get that to me and I'll get that sent out if you wish. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Catherine?
The next speaker is Rosemary Rand.
Morning, Rosemary.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors. I just wanted to provide you a brief update on H5N1 in Kings County. Currently, there are confirmed 37 dairies with positive H5N1. 26 are presumptive positive, and there are 7 poultry farms that are presumptive positive. Of those, we still have 3 positive human cases, and those are among workers who are working with cows. And they haven't gone beyond that. So I just really wanted to provide you an update. Also, CDFA and the state have authorized the poultry farms to do on-site composting of the chickens. So just an update. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask or you can contact me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brad, anybody else?
Our next speaker is Robert Thayer.
Morning, Robert.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Robert Thayer, Undersheriff. It's a distinct pleasure. You kind of let the cat out of the bag. Thank you for letting me do the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
Got it on social media.
Yeah, it was a way to cap thank you. It was a way to cap off a 35-year career and just here to announce that this Friday at noon at the sheriff's office will be my last call. Monday, Veterans Day, it's a holiday, so I figured I'd work one more day on a holiday and call it a career. But just kind of a fun fact with that, after 5 sheriffs, a handful of new faces on the Board of Supervisors, I want to thank you for your support of our office and our service to the community. But just a little fun facts. I was standing here in the back, was wondering really how long 35 years is, and it's just shy of 35 years, but it was 12,762 days ago that I came to work here, or 419 months. 419 months sounds a little bit better, but with that, as the undersheriff, this is my final board member or board to be here as the undersheriff, and look forward to hopefully working with you guys in years to come. And thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, appreciate your service.
The next speaker is Rebecca Bell.
Rebecca Bell, come on down.
Rebecca Bell, Hanford. Long time no see. No. Anyway, it was amazing seeing all those people in this room. So many people dedicated, doing so much for so many people. And
one of them thanked us.
huh?
One of them thanked us.
Well, I know, yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
So it's really humbling seeing so many people dedicated. And I just hope that the admins listen to them. When things come up, it's a well-oiled machine, because if the admins don't listen to them, then it creates a hostile work environment. And I hope that the people that we elect and the people that we trust is able to carry that on and listen to when people speak. And I hope that citizens will come forward and not be afraid. Sorry. You know how outspoken I've always been over the years, but now I have somebody trying to silence me. And it hurts. I mean, how dare they? But I'm just more of a plea to you guys to do the right thing. When somebody comes to you and they ask for things, itemize things. Make sure that you hold them accountable. Because when they do things that they aren't supposed to, you hold them accountable. Don't be afraid of retaliation and you're here, but don't try to please these guys, because you hurt us when you make the wrong decisions for the wrong reasons. You got to keep your egos at the door and listen to your people and elected officials, bosses, administration. They need to listen to the people. And I hope that people would have enough of a voice and not fear retaliation. Because I grew up in this valley, 78 to 95, seen a lot of changes. Good changes, bad changes. Whether it's the environment, water, land, whatever, it affects us all. Okay, so you got to make sure you hold people accountable. When they do what they're not supposed to do, you penalize them or something, take away funding or something. But if they ask for money, itemize it, make sure, otherwise it's a blank check and they can do whatever they want with it. It's the same thing, but it's just, it's a lot easier for people. I used to say that to sit as a sideline, it's easier for people to sit at the sideline and flap their jaws than it is to lift a finger. But sometimes they are sitting at the sidelines because they're afraid of who they're going to hurt by saying something. Like they're going to ruffle a lot of feathers by speaking up. And a lot of people shouldn't care, honestly. Just raise a riot. If you see something wrong, do something about it. Don't sit at the sidelines because you are afraid to say something. Okay? And as admins, we trust you to do the right things. So thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next speaker.
There are no other speaker cards, and it does not appear anyone online has their hand raised.
Anybody in the audience like to add anything to our meeting today? Seeing none, we'll move on now to approval of the minutes, report out of closed session, regular meeting, October 29th, 2024.
There's nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Item B, approval of the minutes from regular meeting, October 29th, 2024. Moved by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 5 in favor. We'll move on now to consent calendar. All items on a consent calendar are listed as one motion. Do I have a
Motion approved as presented.
moved by Supervisor Valley, second by Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
5 in favor. Thank you very much. We'll move on now to regular calendar, and we have item A, Community Development Agency. Mr. Chuck Kinney. Morning, Chuck.
Morning. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Chuck Kinney, Community Development Agency Director, coming to you today to report out the actions from last night's Planning Commission meeting. At that meeting, they had 2 items on their agenda. The first one that was discussed was conditional use permit 23-01 for Assurance Development, which proposed to construct a cellular tower at 20527 Main Street in Stratford. That project was approved by the Planning Commission. The second item of business that came up last night was conditional use permit 22-06 for Thomas Compost, which was proposing to establish a commercial composting facility at 20111 Excelsior Avenue. Prior to the beginning of discussion, one of the planning commissioners recused themselves due to the potential of a perceived conflict since he works with Tulare Lake Compost. And at that point, we no longer had a quorum. So that item will have to be brought back at a future meeting when we are able to have an established quorum. So that was it for last night.
Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
Okay, move on now to item B, Human Resources Department.
Don't we have to accept that?
Do you want?
Do we have to accept that?
I'll move to accept the planning commission's report.
Motion to accept by Richard Valley, second by Joe Nevs. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
5 in favor. Thank you, Chuck. Let us know anything. So do we have enough members on there? We need to get new members? Okay. And then, okay, we'll talk later. Thank you. So we'll move on now to item B, Human Resources Department.
Chairman, if I could just intervene for a moment. I just been advised that the copies that were in the back of the room and that were posted online were the incorrect agenda for today. There are only 2 items for human resources. So if anyone has a copy of the agenda that has a number 3, that is the incorrect copy. And we're working on getting that corrected right now.
I
I
have
apologize.
3 on mine.
You do. I apologize. When we have 3 agendas and last minute changes, we are human. We make mistakes.
Continue. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Danielle Lee, Personal Analyst with Human Resources. I'm here today regarding the new job specification for the classification of Deputy Director of Public Works. The Board of Supervisors approved a 1.0 full-time equivalent Deputy Director of Public Works position in Budget Unit 926500 for fiscal year 2024-25. This position is a management level at-will classification that will assist the Director of Public Works in planning, organizing, managing, and oversight of staff and programs and operations of designated divisions of the Public Works Department. The incumbent will also assist with personnel matters and provide department representation with internal and external agencies. The cost for the new position for the remainder of the fiscal year is approximately $85,996 for salary only. The funding for this position was included in the Public Works fiscal year 2024-25 approved budget. Therefore, HR recommends that you, 1, approve the new job specification for Deputy Director of Public Works, and 2, approve the salary range at 276.0, which is approximately $9,370 to $11,435 monthly. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Thank you. Any question or comment?
Thanks for getting this done. Second.
Moved by Supervisor Fagutis, second by Supervisor Valley. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. In favor, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Item 2.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Ashley Hernandez, Personal Analyst with Human Resources. I'm here today to request that you approve the retitled and revised job specification for the Detentions Assistant. The job specification for the Detentions Deputy Association of the Sheriff's Office was updated based on Coffin Associates recommendations. Specifically, the Senior Detentions Clerk title was changed to Detentions Assistant. The revised job specification was also amended with new formatting and to be consistent with current functions and requirements of the position. Updates were also made to the definition, class characteristics, knowledge, and ability section, and the supervision received and exercised were added. Additionally, consistent with current human resource practices, the physical demands, environmental conditions, and disaster service worker information were included. The sheriff reviewed and approved the job specification. Additionally, the job specification was sent to the association, and they were offered the opportunity to meet and confer with human resources. There is no fiscal impact with the recommended action, and there is no changes to the wages with this title change. Human Resources requests you approve the retitled and revised job specification.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Motion approved. Moved by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Valley. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. 5 in favor. Thank you very much. Move on now to IT Department. John Devlin. Good morning, John. How's that flag feeling? Is it still getting hot in here? Or is it hot because it's a thick material, or you're just kind of on the edge?
It's the material, yeah.
The material?
It's really bad in July. That's why I just worked for a short time. Well, good morning. Happy Election Day. What I have before you here is extra grid backup storage expansion. Kings County's current extra grid backup storage system requires expansion to accommodate our growing data storage needs. This expansion will involve the purchase of an additional extra-grid appliance to increase the capacity and ensure continued data backup and recovery operations. Without this expansion backup, retention of county data would need to be reduced. The fiscal impact for this expansion appliance is $154,000. Of this amount, $147,780 was included in the fiscal year 24-25 adopted budget. The balance of $6226 will be transferred from a network equipment maintenance allocation that was unspent. Let's see.
Sounds good, Mr. Chair. A motion to approve it.
I've got a motion on the table from Supervisor Valley, and we have a second by
Second.
Supervisor Nevs. You got off good.
I did.
Yeah,
I didn't have to
yes.
read all the recommendations. That's
Exactly.
great.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson. Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 5 in favor.
Thank
Continue,
you.
please.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now to Public Health Department.
No. Might not too.
Rosemary, good morning.
Morning, Chairman, Supervisors, Rosemary Rand, Director of Public Health. Here today with an item from Environmental Health. On April 30th of this year, Board approved a resolution for the department to apply for a Cal Recycle Local Enforcement Agency grant totaling $19,666. On July 30th, Cal Recycle approved the grant in dollar amount. And subsequently, we received the department agreement from Cal Recycle on September 17th of this year. It was then sent through County Council on Risk for review. The grant funds will be used for personnel, personal protective equipment, and training costs needed to implement the county's solid waste program. The agreement has been reviewed by and approved by Council and Risk. I'm respectfully asking for your board to approve an agreement with the Department of Resources, Recycling, and Recovery for the Solid Waste Local Enforcement Agency grant retroactively effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. There's no impact to general fund, and the revenue has been included in the 24-25 adopted budget. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any question or comments? Moved by Supervisor Fagundes, second by Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
Richard Valley. Doug Verboon. Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
5 in favor. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Next item.
Next item, I'm introducing Zarina Martinez, who's our Division Manager over the Public Health Nursing Division, and Nicole Fisher to present the next item. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Zarina Martinez, Nursing Division Manager, Kings County Public Health. Today, I'm here to announce November 2024 as Prematurity Awareness Month and November 17th, 2024 as World Prematurity Day. Prematurity or preterm birth is when an infant is born before 37 weeks gestation. Preterm birth is the leading cause of death during the first month of life. Babies born just a few weeks too soon can face serious health challenges. Preterm infants can be born with several health issues, such as underdeveloped lungs and cerebral palsy. As they grow, preterm babies are more likely to experience intellectual and developmental delays, as well as issues with breathing, feeding, and other serious complications. While the challenges are significant, there are proactive steps we can take to reduce the risk of early labor. Some of those methods include keeping up with all prenatal appointments, avoiding substances such as cigarettes and alcohol, and maintaining chronic health conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes. Next, we'll provide local data.
Good morning. My name is Miriam Morales, public health nurse. Between 2020 and 2022, the preterm birth rate in Kings County increased from 8.98% to 9.52%. This percentage represents 613 babies out of 6,642 live births in Kings County. In comparison, during the same period, the state of California as a whole had a preterm birth rate of 8.99%. To support families impacted by preterm births, let's now explore the local resources available in our community.
Good morning, Nicole Fisher, Public Health. The Comprehensive Perinatal Services Program, or CPSP, which is available to Medi-Cal recipients in Kings County, is a program that facilitates the journey through pregnancy and encourages and educates families on the importance of preventative care. This program helps pregnant individuals from the time of conception up to 60 days postpartum. In addition to standard obstetric treatment, this program attempts to improve pregnancy and birth outcomes through nutrition, health education, and psychological assistance. The multidisciplinary team provides the CPSP client with a client orientation, initial and continuous assessments, case coordination, care plan preparation, and referral services amongst the services mentioned prior. In Kings County, the program is offered at the following clinics: Adventist Health, ARIA Family Healthcare Network, and United Health Centers. To enroll in the program, the pregnant individual would simply request enrollment at the start of the prenatal appointments. The Department of Healthcare Services, or DHCS, has added doula services as a covered benefit for Medi-Cal recipients as of January 1st, 2023. A doula is a skilled expert who offers ongoing physical, emotional, and informational assistance to their client throughout the stages of childbirth, aiming to ensure the best and most fulfilling experience. You can find a list of local doulas on the DHCS website within the doula directory section. Some doulas listed here may also take cash payments as well as other insurance options such as TRICARE. Our local WIC program is another available resource that offers help and nutrition and breastfeeding support. Next, we will talk about our community activities planned.
All right. This November, we invite you to join us in raising awareness about preterm birth through exciting initiatives from the Maternal Child Adolescent Health Program, or MCAH. We will be utilizing social media to share preterm birth education and reduction strategies. We're also happy to share the MCAH program is currently working with the local clinic to create a social media campaign aimed at reducing preterm birth rates in Kings County. The Who's on Your Team campaign is a series of multimedia posts that will educate the public on preterm birth reduction from Kings County's very own healthcare providers. By partnering with local healthcare providers, we aim to ensure that our messages are not only informative, but are also grounded in the expertise of those who care for our community. The providers will range from comprehensive perinatal health workers, multidisciplinary clinicians, and more. Lastly, today we would like to provide the board with purple ribbons that honors babies who have survived preterm birth and honors babies who have passed from preterm birth. With increased awareness, we can support the health of pregnancies and risk reduction efforts throughout Kings County.
Last one. The Kings County Department of Public Health is asking the board today to adopt a resolution proclaiming November 2024 as Prematurity Awareness Month and November 17, 2024 as World Prematurity Day. Thank you, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would.
Hey. Uh-huh. Take all the credit.
Good thing he took after his mom. Okay, we'll move on now to administration. Looks like I have Kyria or Alex. Morning, Alex.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Alex C. Walker, Kings County Administration. Before your board is several bodies that Kings County is a member of that requires your attention for appointment. The first is the Rural County Representatives of California, more commonly known as RCRC. It is dedicated to representing the collective unique interests of rural California counties. Annually, RCRC requires confirmation of each member county's delegate and alternate to the RCRC Board of Directors. and the first RCRC board meeting of 2025 and installation of officers will be held on January 8th. RCRC requires that both the delegate and alternate be a sitting member of the Board of Supervisors, and delegates and alternates will be required to comply with the Conflict of Interest Code and file a Form 700. RCRC board meetings are held in conjunction with the Golden State Finance Authority and Golden State Connect Authority Board of Directors meetings. As a result, RCRC recommends that the same supervisors be appointed to all three bodies. However, per policy, the administration office makes no recommendation on board appointments. The current delegate is Supervisor Raboon, and the current alternate is Supervisor Robinson. Attached in the agenda packet is the designation form. I appreciate your time. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, you guys are interested in keeping it the same as far as delegate and alternates?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How about you?
Yeah.
He carried my books.
Mr. Chair,
Actually, he's a full-time job. You got to keep him, you got to tell him where to go. Yeah, yeah. He's always behind you. Walking down the street, he disappears. You got to go find him.
well, then with
You
that,
teach him all you know and you still don't know nothing.
I need to work on it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, with that then, like to make a motion to designate you as delegate, Chairman Verboen as delegate, and Supervisor Robinson as alternate for items one, the committees on listed as items 1 through 4.
Motion by Supervisor Valley, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Move on now to the next item, which will be consider appointing a delegate to alternative supervisor to the Environmental Service Joint Powers Authority.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry. My motion was for items 1 through 4.
1 through 4?
Yeah, that was all of them.
Oh, okay. So then number 5 then.
Would the board like me to, for the public, to read the other bodies and what they are, or just move forward to 5?
No, no, we'll go to item
Oh.
5, which is California Clerk Week.
Perfect. So before your board is a resolution proclaiming November 18th through 22nd, 2024 as California Clerk of the Board Supervisors Week. The California Clerk of the Board Association was first established in 1984 and includes members from all 58 counties in California. On October 23rd of this year, the board president, Alicia Draves, reached out to the Kings County Board of Supervisors to request that we participate in recognizing this week. And I'm going to now read a quick passage regarding this agenda item just to really highlight the accomplishments of our Clerk of the Board office and the incredible service they provide to our community. The Kings County Clerk of the Board is also the clerk of the Kings County Board of Equalization, the California Public Finance Authority, the California Community Housing Agency, and the City Selection Committee, and provides support and guidance for staff and other appointed bodies within the county. In addition to providing and retaining copies of crucial records, our Clerk of the Board also handles MADI Act requirements. And in addition to that, just recently completed a record preservation project, which is housed in administration, and also creating an online public database for free for members of the public to access these key records. The Board of Supervisors has historically had a Clerk of the Board position with 1 deputy clerk to staff all 5 elected officials. And in 2023, the board took action to add a 2nd deputy clerk position to the office. And this resolution would not only recognize the Clerk of the Board, it will recognize Catherine Ventura, Clerk of the Board, Diane Badashi, Deputy Clerk of the Board, and Francesca Lizella, Deputy Clerk of the Board, for their dedication and service to the Board of Supervisors and the people of Kings County.
Hey, good job.
Well, congratulations and thank you for your work you do. And you have your own week now. Now, what do you get for the, 5 days? You don't get to count the weekend.
52 weeks a year.
We have a motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Very good, Alex. Thank you very much.
No resolution?
Hey. Okay, we'll move on. Well, we got 10 o'clock. We have,
I know, exactly.
it's a little after 10 o'clock. And so we have a public hearing and we have Noel Tomlinson. Morning, Noel.
Good morning, supervisors. Noelle Tomlinson, planner with Community Development Agency, here to present the annual implementation of Government Code Section 51244B regarding the modification of the Williamson Act program. In 1969, Kings County implemented the California Land Conservation Act program, also known as the Williamson Act. This act provides property tax relief to agricultural landowners who voluntarily agree to devote their land to long-term commercial agricultural use through a land conservation 10-year contract or a farmland security zone 20-year contract. After 2009-2010 state budget cuts all but eliminated subvention funding, Senate Bill 863 offered $10 million in subvention funds to be allocated to counties implementing a temporary program that recaptured a portion of foregone tax revenue by decreasing Williamson Act contract terms by 10%. Doing this would also allow landowners to retain 90% of the reduced tax benefits. AB 1265 was enacted in July 2011 and amended Government Code Section 51244 to remove the previous expiration date and to allow jurisdictions to annually implement the reduced contract terms as necessary. In the past, the board has voted to implement the contract reductions from 2011 through 2023, effective for calendar years 2012 through 2024. If the board chooses to implement this again, the county can recapture a portion of foregone property tax revenue by decreasing Williamson Act contracts by 10%, but still allowing landowners to retain 90% of the reduced tax benefits. In addition to staff time, the cost of implementation would include, an estimated $2,000 for the 2 notices sent to approximately 2,000 Kings County landowners who are under contract. The implementation of Section 51244B is categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to California Environmental Quality Act CEQA Guidelines Section 15317, Class 17, and none of the special circumstances in Section 15300.2 apply. Staff recommendations are: conduct a public hearing to implement modifications to the California Land Conservation Williamson Act program. Adopt a resolution authorizing the implementation of Government Code Section 51244B to reduce Williamson Act contract terms by 10%. Find that said implementation is exempt from environmental review under the California Environmental Quality Act. And that concludes my presentation, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Noel. Any questions or comments from the board? Motion by Supervisor.
Gotta have a public hearing.
Oh,
Gotta open.
sorry. Hang on.
Yeah, take it easy.
Hearing no questions, we'll go ahead and open up for public comment at this time. Okay, come on up, state your name and address for the record.
Name is Charles Meyer from Stratford. You want the house address?
No, we're good. We know how to get hold of you.
A couple of you have known me for a while. Give a little background. My parents came to Stratford, or grandparents came to Stratford in 1910, started farming. I'm the 3rd generation. My kids are farming now. They're 4th generation. But there has been, unknown to most people, a war across these United States on family farmers. And I found a book, it's called Land Rich, Cash Poor, that I think every American should read to know where their food comes from. The majority of your food comes from family farmers across the United States. And there are thousands every year going bankrupt. I think this Williamson Act was designed to try to slow that down. And it's done a pretty good job. To give you some factual information on my little farm here. 10 years ago, we were selling wheat for $205 a ton. Right now, wheat's $196 a ton. Cotton, a couple of years ago, was $2.60 a pound for Pima, which a majority of the cotton growers are growing now. The latest price is $1.53 a pound. Pistachios, a couple of years ago, was $2.40 a pound. Now it's $1.80 a pound. Alfalfa, we got $2.40 a ton. $240 a ton, and now it's $140 a ton. Our trees, pistachios mostly, cost us $1,700 an acre each year. Field crops on the average are $800 an acre each year. Our property taxes, I understand, are mostly based on the value of the property, but we're not able to pay on the value of the property. We pay on the revenue from the property, and our revenue keeps going down. If we can't hold the line on this Williamson Act, which covers a lot of it, but not all, our property taxes are still very high, even with the Williamson Act. So I'm trying to urge you to not reduce the Williamson Act because it's part of what's saving my life and my farm. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Any other comments? Doug, why don't you go ahead and state your name and then talk about the price of walnuts from 2013? Because we got
Freitas.
236 to 36, $2 a pound, and we're still paying taxes on that ground that worth a 236 tax. And
You're hitting the nail on the head there.
that's why my hair white.
Doug Freitas from Lemoore. I consider myself a family farmer. My wife and I and two sons farm together. We all know there's a real apocalypse happening here in our county directly with the ag situation. Costs have quadrupled, and by the way, my property taxes have gone up even on ground that is in the Williams Act, but that's understood. I have one piece year before last was 325 and change, or 300 and change property taxes per year per acre. That's more than I was paying rent. Again, they were over $300 an acre. I did protest it and they came down. The fact was we improved the property, and it was not in the Williamson Act. And so that's what happens when you do that. You're assessed at a much higher value when people come in and pay more than the land will return. With that said, I know that the decision on the Williamson Act has already been made as far as how this can be reduced, but I just ask that maybe within the county, we have a more streamlined avenue to adjust our property taxes through the protest avenue. I don't know how else to make the point that we can't pay the people we want to and keep them on. Some of us can't pay our bills. Thank God we're not in that situation yet, but every day you're in this business, anyone that's in ag is extremely concerned about the future. And a lot of the future is going to be determined right here and what the property taxes are that we pay. CEQA, I know has nothing to do with it. Those fees doubled this year. That's the Groundwater Quality Management Act. And then, of course, Sigma, we all know that that's going to be very expensive because you guys are going to serve on that board or control the Mid-Kings. But thank you for your time. I know that this is a very understanding group with agriculture in mind. We do support the community as a whole, and you know that, and we know that. It just feels good to state it in public and let you know there's real people behind the grease under their fingernails. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? At this time, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Wait, Rebecca. Oh, Rebecca, come on up. Come on down, Rebecca. You want to buy some walnuts?
I will say that I'm ignorant about the water, but I noticed along the 43 a long time. I don't know where that water went, but it's been there for the longest time. And I noticed in Lemoore, where they have the canals, the water's gone there. I mean, I don't know where's the water going. too, and it's weird when you see water for the longest time and then all of a sudden it just goes overnight. I'm not sure where it's being shifted out to, but I noticed that a lot of land is being bought up and then they sell the water rights and then it gets sold out to solar farms. But it's kind of weird on how you have the state making decisions on how the water is in the valley and they don't even live here. And it's like they're creating a drought to where the farmers have no choice but to sell it. And then when they sell it, then there's less to grow. And then, I mean, like I said, I mean, I grew up here, but I don't know, but I know water is life. So what are we going to do against the state from regulating on what we do here in the valley? I mean, the water's drying up and it's getting shifted to where it's not staying. If we're supposed to be feeding the nation, how are we going to do that? With peanuts? I mean, water is life. Everybody needs water. You need water for everything, to grow it, to drink it, to rehydrate our bodies. So what are we going to do to keep it here in the valley? So it just seems like I said, the state is dictating what goes on here in the valley. What are we going to do to stand up to the state and say, we need to do that? So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board for direction.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
can we just ask Mr. Kenny to maybe just do like a 30-second, just a quick overview on, what we're doing here and how I believe the county is trying to help with the fact that the Williamson Act is gone. It's gone.
Well,
at
it's
state
been
level.
reduced by 10%.
Yes, that's state level, but the actions we've been taking here have been to help ease that for about over 10 years already. We've been doing this, right?
Sure. So
English.
30 seconds.
over a decade ago, state took all of the subvention funds that were coming to reimburse the county for the loss in property taxes. Many of the jurisdictions that had Williams Act programs at that time considered completely canceling all of the Williams Act contracts and getting out of the Williams Act program completely. In an effort to save the Williamson Act program, the state authorized the local jurisdictions the ability to reduce it by 10% to give a little bit of tax credit back to the local jurisdiction for preserving that program. And that's what your board has been doing to try and keep the Williamson Act alive in Kings County over the past decade. To make sure that the Williamson Act is alive and to try and protect farmers as much as possible.
Thank you.
Yep.
I know for myself, I think it's when the property switches hands, it goes to the new value of the land. So I know in my case, I had to buy out my family and my grandmother was paying $2,500 a year for 157 acres. I'm paying 22,500 acres. So there is an increase to the state fund. When that does happen, if I was able to buy ground that was gifted to my father, it stayed at that original value. So I went from original value land that doesn't go on open market is $43 an acre for taxes. The one that I had to go open market and pay for, I pay $143 an acre. So I don't know how I can farm paying any more than that. I can barely handle that 143. So anything we can do to help offset the loss of our income to the county from the state, we need to do. So, because we need income from the farmers to produce tax revenue so we can fund our programs. Okay, with that said, do I have any other comments from the board? You guys want to make a motion to pass this?
Supervisor Fagundes, didn't he already do that?
Did he? Motion by Supervisor Fagundes, second by
Second.
Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 5 in favor. Thank you very much. Thanks for showing up today too. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll go on now to board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Robinson.
All right.
Let's see, last week, I attended the Halloween party, which was a lot of fun. The judging with supervisors, and good job was done. Let's see, a few that came to mind. The Cynical Clown did an amazing job. The Star Trek group, we got a skit with that one. Beetlejuice and his group, and Lucy and Ethel. Sorry about the other winners that I missed, but those were some that came to mind. So it was a good motivation for county employees. Also met with John Devlin in regards to broadband, and then spoke to Chuck Penny on some water issues. Thank you, Chuck. And that was my week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to report that the Fox Run housing development in Corcoran is powered up by PG&E. Was out there last week as the crews were out there on the poles and running wires. And so now they're finishing up the meters. The city of Corcoran officials are there doing their inspections in the homes and tightening everything up. And these families are closing their loans and making the transition and moving in. And so it's a very positive time there in Corcoran. It's getting since better. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, yes, sir. And then last, Mr. Chairman, I want to end my report in memory of my cousin, Felix Delgadillo. I'll be going to his services here at 11 this morning, but my cousin Felix, he's my first cousin. Yes. Well, his father's probably who you know, Felix Senior. He was the welder. He passed away about, yes, sir, about 2 years ago. And then now his son passed away a couple months ago. He fought long and hard to get battle against cancer. And, but he learned how to weld from his father, and his Nino, our uncle, Ruben Flores, for a number of years, owned RF Construction. So my cousin framed a lot of houses in Lemoore, Corcoran, Tulare, Hanford, and in his last years, he had his own business, Felix the Cat handyman services. So, but very positive life, and we'll be celebrating his life.
Like that for what Supervisor Robertson report, because it was a lot of fun, a lot of walking, that everybody seemed to have a very good time. Thank you.
Thank you. Must have had a good time because my sugar was higher than Helen, actually. I don't know where how that came from, but and I got a lot of steps, but I sure didn't. I overcompensated. Thank you, Mr. Chair. South Fork Kings held a special meeting on Tuesday, the 29th. Board heard about the Tulare Lake Basin updates from local agencies that continue to work on issues. Even though the state has refused to communicate with local agencies due to legal challenges led by the Kings County Farm Bureau, it's just ironic that the state has chose that direction. The South Fork Kings continues to work on policies and received updates on the 218 election. And also approved an item that's on this afternoon's agenda as well about the water and energy efficiency grant from the Bureau of Reclamation. So we'll hear about that this afternoon some more. On October 30th, the Kings Waste and Recycling Board, along with Supervisor Fagundes, met in a special meeting and reviewed the financial reports, commodity sales, tonnage figures, operational reports from the executive director. We did finally replace one of the scales. That scale was 30 plus years old and had served the county even when that was a landfill before King's Waste and Recycling. So it's finally retired. There's a brand new scale out there, and hopefully it'll keep that operation going. Continue to announce volleyball and tipped off the basketball season at Lemoore College and wrapped up the football season at Kalinga College. They do have one more football game, but I have other obligations, so we'll miss that game on the 23rd. Central California Blood Center on Friday kicked off the Battle of the Badges in Visalia. Kings County won last year's 2023 campaign and certainly looking to repeat again this year. Kings County Health Department through Nicholas Montoya is doing a great job. Last year, the South Valley Blood Drive collected a little over 500 units, and the goal this year is 600. The Kings County Drive will be a 3-day drive, November 5th, 6th, and 7th. There are spots still available. If you can roll up your sleeves, you will be entered into a drawing for Raiders tickets. And there's also brought back T-shirts and gift cards. So if you have some opportunity, roll up your sleeves and donate some blood. The Lemoore Rotary Crab Feed was held on Saturday. Nice event, plenty of food, plenty of entertainment, and had a great time once again at the Lemoore Rotary Crab Feed. And then yesterday, Monday, November 4th, the Lemoore College Paramedic Advisory Committee had a meeting in the Student Union. We reviewed the program, updated the new health center's career building. Unfortunately, that building was supposed to open next year, 2025. And even though everything is up, the walls are starting to come together. They've pushed back the open date until January of 26. So it'll be under construction for the next 12 or 13 months. Continue to work on equipment purchases and donation list. Still looking for somebody. If you have an old ambulance, it would kind of nice to be for the program. So if we can be looking for an older ambulance or some kind of equipment in order to give those paramedics an opportunity of working in the back of a moving rig, even if, so any help or any connections you might have, certainly want to thank you for that. Accreditation visit will be on December 5th and 6th. The program is accredited, and discussions with the advisory board will be on December 5th, and we look forward to that as well. We also reviewed and approved MOUs with Kalinga Fire and Sanger Fire, who also have paramedic programs, and working with them in the future. We've also applied for an apprentice grant through the state of California and looking for an organization that will sponsor that. Between American Ambulance, Kalinga, Sanger, somebody will probably step up and sign that up, and that covers all the tuition for the students as they go through that program. Currently, there are 28 students enrolled in the program. They started out with 37. That we kind of loaded a little heavy, and then because life happens, it's a difficult program, and people have a tendency to sometimes postpone their education. But wherever they're at in the program, they can always sign up and come back in at a later date and start over. So with that, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the board received correspondence from the city of Larkspur dated October 31st regarding the California Community Housing Agency Essential Housing Program. Board lastly received a correspondence from Randy Shabazian dated October 30th regarding a cease and desist letter. For upcoming events, Kings County Behavioral Health will host its mental health family support group tonight, Tuesday, November 5th from 5:30 to 7:30 here on the Kings building. Kings County Library will host its movie time at the Hanford Branch Library tomorrow, Wednesday 6th from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. and then next Wednesday, November 13th at the Kettleman City Branch Library from 3 to 4:30. Kings County Library will host a Cup of Joe and conversation with veterans at the Corcoran Branch Library this Saturday, November 9th. And lastly, this Saturday, November 9th, downtown Lemoore will have a car show from 12 to 4 with 4 to 7 live music. For upcoming agenda items, we do have a large agenda item for November 26th as we are dark the next 2 board meetings. So for November 26th, administration has 3, an annual Williams report from the Kings County Schools of Education, meeting cancellations for the Board of Supervisors meetings for next year, approval of some care court funding agreement. Ag Commission has 2 items, some agreements with the state of California and authorization on some agreements and MOUs with the Department of Food and Agriculture. District Attorney has 1 item on surplus vehicle declaration. Human Resources has 4 items. Human Services has 3 items regarding the in-home support services public authority budget increase and amendment to the global drug testing services and a new job classification for the Behavioral Health Department and some amendments to the CalFresh program. And probation right now has an item on electronic monitoring services. Again, this is just the items that we have right now because we are dark for the next 2 days. This will grow. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. We'll move on now to closed session as outlined, and then we'll be back here at 11 o'clock for California Public Finance Authority meeting, and we will be dark next Tuesday, and we'll be back here on the 19th. Thank you very much.
No,
No meeting on the 19th as well.
19th either. 26th.
Okay. As stated.
Yeah.